Earlier today. Now, despite today's global stock market rally, our next guest says traders, well, they're a little bit more bearish than they were actually a month ago. Colin Berthoud is the co-founder and director of youDevise. His firm tracks the moves and ideas of institutional brokers, and he publishes what's called the Trade Ideas Monitor. Colin, welcome back. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
So what are the pros telling you? I know that they kind of hide behind a little bit of anonymity there, but what do you make of their outlook right now?
In December, they were 43% short. In January, they started the year 50% short, and that's the highest long-to-short ratio we've seen since November, so it's a very high ratio. It's come down a bit since then, so in January we've come down to 47% short, but it's still a very high ratio, same as November. It's a very bearish sign in the market.
Dare I ask, is this a leading or a lagging indicator, do you think?
The ideas tend to be open for about 20 days, so it tends to forecast the next week to 3 weeks of activity.
All right, let's talk a little bit about industry groups if we can. What kind of specificity are they giving you?
Well, it may sound strange now, but in December our brokers were quite long on diversified banks, so there was actually a bit of a rally in banks during December. They went very short on banks early in January. The sector's come down 20% or so. So,
well, then does that beg the question, is this a short covering rally?
The data's showing at the moment that there's still a lot of bear signs out there, so it'll be coming down a bit further if we look at the overall data.
All right, let me ask you about where their bearish bets are focused right now in the industry group.
It's banks, conglomerates, retail.
That's it? That's it.
There are one or two bright spots. There's a bright spot in application software. That's the area I'm in, so I'm very pleased to see that. So there's one or two bright spots, but in the main, the most bearish sector is diversified banks still. 6% of the shorts in our system are in that sector.
6%? That doesn't sound like very much, though.
Normally we see maybe 3% in a sector, so 6% is actually a very high ratio of shorts to longs in a single sector. So there's still a lot of worry about the banks.
Do you ever wonder that because you're getting a lot of this information from institutional brokerages and institutional analysts, that they see something on the inside that the rest of us don't see?
They're certainly more concerned with the sector than almost any other sector, so they should know what they're talking about, but no, the's nothing inside on
Perhaps their bonus structure might reflect a little bit of this bearish sentiment.
Their bonus structure is reflected in the ideas in many different ways. They're putting in the ideas because they need to prove to the buy side that they're adding value to the buy side. So they're sending the idea to the major hedge funds, to the major long-only funds, major mutual funds, and they need to prove to their clients that they're adding value. They're not just order takers. So their jobs depend on getting this right. And there's a clear demarcation between the 25% that are consistent in their performance and the other 75% that are average or worse.
Let me ask you about the volume of ideas, because that's something also that you take a look at. Are they generating more ideas now for their client because we're in a difficult market environment?
The whole area of providing ideas for clients electronically is taking off, so there's a kind of constant increase in volume. But this month, last month, the month before, we're seeing overall a much higher take-up. So there is an increasing volume for lots of different reasons. One of that, I think, is proving to clients, stay with us as a broker, we know what we're doing. Stay with me as a salesperson, because I know what I'm doing. So it's kind of job protection for the broker, job protection for the individual salesperson.
Tell me about the mining sector and perhaps energy, but mining specifically, because you said 6% short for the diversified financials. Not the same with mining.
No, and mining and steel were actually relatively not quite long, relatively to other sectors, were not so bearish, in the December month. We're not seeing that as a big sector either long or short this month, so it's kind of not a major sector at the moment in either direction.
Tell me about this idea of needing to justify themselves. Are you seeing a lot of sort of execution of these ideas?
The ideas are sent through to the major institutions, and if you're a portfolio manager, you're looking to get into a stock, you want to know what the sentiment on the street is. That's where they use the system, so they kind of see it. My trusted brokers are telling me this. There's a few people who always get it wrong. They're telling me that, so I'm going to do what the trusted brokers say, the opposite of the ones that get it wrong. And you kind of look at the sentiment on the street before getting into the stock. If everyone's going against what you're thinking, you may say, well, maybe I'll wait for a few days before I get into the stock.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I look forward to having you back. Colin Berthoud from youDevise. We're going to come right back with more on shipping.